Welcome to Twisted Monday. We've enjoyed some of the best games in the series this month, but it's time we took our medicine. Twisted Metal 3 must be played to completion. It's, not that bad, but it has its issues. This is actually version 1.1. I've been playing version 1.0 all this time. This is the greatest hits version, and so far the only difference I've noticed is that there's this linked game screen every time you start a new game. But we'll keep a keen eye out, see if we notice anything else throughout the entirety of this playthrough. Supposedly there are a handful of, bug fixes and whatnot. Anyway, here's our subject, Hammerhead. Hammerhead has a fascinating journey throughout the series. Ridiculously overpowered in the first game, ridiculously underpowered in the second game. Where does it end up in the third game? We'll find out, but first, let's meet the old lady driving it.
My neighborhood used to be peaceful and quiet until that Twisted Metal contest came roaring into town. I can't even hear my TV with all that racket. I'll run them out once and for all.
The epic quest to make television more audible. I am going to mute the game music. Because, licensed soundtrack and all that. Nope, don't want to do that, though. You get out of here. There we go. We'll hear out Calypso's intro narration one time, and then drown it out with the music.
Welcome to Twisted Metal. Your first battleground will be the once pristine City of Angels. It has been only 18 months since the Great Quake of 2007 left the city in rubble. May the best contestant win.
Transporting us back to 2007. A wonderful time to be very, very dangerous behind the wheel of a vehicle, apparently. It's post-apocalyptic, so who's gonna care what you destroy? Nobody. So, there's our special. It charges us forward at a great speed. Basically, we are the projectile. Boom. It's like a prototype of Darkseid Special in Twisted Metal Black. And it really draws to light the poor physics of Twisted Metal 3. Every time we use our special, we're going to roll. Fortunately, the vehicle has a roll cage, so Granny Dread gets to survive. But we may not, because it is actually very dangerous to be overturned in this game. And we are going to be upside down with our wheels flailing in the air very, very, very frequently. Bumper teleported away. Oh, I'm at maximum power missiles. So this is one of the games where your individual weapons are capped, as opposed to your entire overall inventory. Which I feel is the worst way to do it. Because in Twisted Metal 2, your inventory is capped, and you could fill it entirely with power missiles, or even homing and fire missiles, just missiles. Whereas in this game, we're capped at 5 power missiles, and it's one of the few good weapons in the game. So when we hit that cap, we need to go pick up terrible weapons to continue filling out our inventory. Otherwise, we just have nothing to work with. Another very small design choice that makes this game slightly worse than it could have been. If they'd stuck with the way that Twisted Metal 2 worked, better game for it. on, Auger. One shot away from death. Could not land that last shot, but there we go. That just leaves Thumper. I've got plenty of ammo to do it. One change they made from Twisted Metal 2 that I like is your inventory doesn't carry over between levels. Everything we have left over when we finish killing Thumper here will just be gone. It'll be wasted. So, conservation, completely pointless. And that means levels have to be designed in such a way that they contain the resources to complete them if you were to go in there fresh. That is not always the case in Twisted Metal 2, as we saw last week with Mr. Grimm in Holland. It's very infrequent that it happens in Twisted Metal 2. But ultimately, the problem we had in Holland last week was we didn't have the resources, and we actually do not. We need to carry them over from the preceding level. I'm going to cross-talk with Calypso. Hopefully it's not too distracting, but, you know, what can you do? It's a very talkative game. I hate to drown out Mel McMurrin, but it happens. This is his lesser role in the series. Even in Twisted Metal 4, he has a much smaller role, but it's kind of better. He does more interesting, cool things. And yeah, I unfortunately did draw the Dark Side comparison, because comparing Hammerhead to Dark Side, it's no contest. Dark Side is better in every single way. Without that comparison, Hammerhead's kind of fun. But when we've seen the way that a ramming special can work, this vehicle becomes incredibly disappointing. I probably should have saved that comparison for later in this playthrough. Whoops. Darkseid is also just like a cooler vehicle than the monster truck. I don't know how a car combat game made a monster truck as uncool as Hammerhead turns out to be in almost every appearance. But they couldn't have done much worse with Hammerhead throughout the entire series. It has its fans. I get it. It's a monster truck in a car combat game. Monster truck's always pretty cool. But yeah, Darkseid is one of the best vehicles in the entire series. Damn shame it is so infrequently playable. Only like, what, 3 games where you're allowed to play as Darkseid? 4. I was forgetting about Small Brawl. But that's too low. I guess if we're really generous, we can count Lost. Axel's about to die. Yeah, good work there. Free shot. Exactly who I wanted to hit. I knew he was going for the health refill, which is why I tried to freeze him. Free shots basically just don't work if you're the player, because they just swerve all over the place. Go in their silly arc, like their Spectre's special. Granny Dread, of course, was initially conceived as Granny Dark for Twisted Metal 2. So it is widely believed, at least. Obviously, the Twisted Metal 3 developers never confirmed it, but it seems pretty likely. There. Finally got one. Axel went over here for some reason. He already got the health refill, so I don't know why. have no homing missiles. Those would be nice right about now. There's the health refill I was waiting for. Actually, homing missiles are useless until Axel gets super low on health. Can't pick them up for some reason. There they go. I was full on them all along. Yep, there goes my free shot. Utterly useless in this game. I believe Axel is a 3D model, like the guy himself, inside the vehicle. There's the full health. Perfect. Waiting for that to show up. Ah, this game is a nightmare. Absolute unmitigated chore, beginning to end. Entirely because of the way health refills work. There's actually a cheat code to prevent health refills from spawning. That's, like, a cheat code I would consider using during a, like, full game playthrough. Even though it would screw me over horribly. Make the game exponentially harder than it needs to be. Just makes everything less miserable. As for whether or not this will end up being a pretty long playthrough, that is entirely up to the RNG. Hammerhead is actually capable of dealing out quite a lot of punishment. But there's only so much you can do if the AI decides to go get a full health refill in the middle of the fight. Like, no matter how powerful your car is, you just added 3 to 5 minutes to this level if the AI gets a full health refill. And I'm about to lose this life because infinite freeze combo. That's something they could have changed from Twisted Metal 2 and chose not to. There we go. Let's teach Darkseid how to use the charging special that it will one day master greater than we can hope to use it. Beep beep. Out of the way. I'm a motorist. You can really imagine Granny Dread saying that too, so... He's this game's Mr. Burns. Okay, we shot free shots past one another. Perfectly symmetrical violence never solved anything, Darkseid. Getting all my Simpsons and Futurama references out early, I guess. That power missile's gonna go to waste because I'm gonna die. I knew it. Anytime you turn your back, you're in for a free shot from old Darkseid. This thing's kind of a nightmare. What are you doing? I knew it. That's how much damage you can do with a single use of our special. Hammerhead had decent health there. Like 3 or 4 pips still left on its HP bar.
After the US government banished all people from
Like, our special is super weird and awkward and busted, but legitimately strong. Based heavily on RNG. Like I said, this is going to be all up to randomness. Very little I can control about this entire playthrough. But I can control this level and turn it into a complete gimmick. I intend to do so. I think that was the last switch. Good. Let's grab one of the health refills so the enemy doesn't. I think there's 2 up here, though, so they'll grab one way or another. And lost track of where the platforms were. Hammerhead is also one of the worst shaped vehicles. which is weirdly super important in this game. That's not the brake button. That is the rear view mirror button. Please get on your wheels. I've clipped into the UFO. This is certainly a thing. Couldn't save it. So yeah, that's an example of Hammerhead being one of the worst shaped vehicles in this game. It rolls over like it's a Canyonero, more Simpsons references. And it is just begging to be destroyed at any given moment. I've actually been playing a lot of Twisted Metal 2 this last week. Try and make up for my errors. Absolve myself of sins. And in Twisted Metal 2, while you're jumping, if you hit the turbo, you blast forward as though you were on the ground and hitting turbo. Not so much in this game. In this game, turbo is of limited use. Where you going, Flower Power? I know exactly what you're doing. Okay, I got it. Thankfully. Where is she? She stayed up on the upper platform? What is going on? Did she clip into something? Is no one safe from clipping? So it's actually very difficult to compare our vehicles in this game to Twisted Metal 2. She was going for the health refill that was already gone. Hilarious. Tragic in a way. Especially because there was one right over here. But yeah, Twisted Metal 2 Hammerhead is, compared to the other vehicles in Twisted Metal 2, atrocious. Whereas Hammerhead in Twisted Metal 3 compares favorably to many of the vehicles that it is up against. Which makes it, by comparison, a better, more fun vehicle to play. Like, we're not underpowered. We are at the power level that this game expects. As vehicles in Twisted Metal 3 go, this is among the more playable, shockingly. Auger pulling a Mr. Slam. Get me in an infinite freeze combo. I will say, though, Auger might be the single best vehicle in this entire game because of the shape of the vehicle. Being flat like he is invaluable. Because the way our vehicle is shaped, if we take a turn too sharply, we will just roll the hell over. Nothing flips Auger. Auger is very, very sure on its wheels, which makes it just way more fun to play as. I'm gonna do something right now. Driving full speed. I'm gonna backfire my special, which, as we know, is a charge. So it looks like this. You just stop in place for like half a second. It's utterly useless. Unlike backfiring Dark Side special in Twisted Metal Black. Dark Side, so much cooler, so much better. So Warthog in this game is a Humvee. It's not nearly as top-heavy as Hammerhead, but it can still flip over pretty easily, especially if it rams anybody. There's Warthog. Definitely one of the stronger vehicles. It does still have a good shape to it. But Auger is, like, completely flat. and super, super wide. I believe it's the widest vehicle in the entire game. And, it's just really, really good. Decent special, extremely high armor. What I wouldn't give to be playing its Auger right now. Even, like, Club Kid is misshapen in such a way. It has a very, very narrow base. So even though it's a tiny vehicle, it will still roll over a lot. Leave itself vulnerable pretty frequently. Not against us, though, because we will roll right over it. Monster truck that we are. So, basically, anytime we touch anything, every vehicle is smaller than us, and we will hit the top side of it, which bounces us at such an angle that we are basically guaranteed to roll over. And for a vehicle that can only use its special by directly impacting other cars, that's atrocious design. Hammerhead is the worst possible choice for having the ram into another vehicle special. It's super ill-suited to what we're doing. But like I said, Hammerhead is still fun. Despite everything, it's still pretty fun. Its best efforts were to just get destroyed in Twisted Metal. Didn't work. The sound effect of our special? I don't know what it's supposed to be. There's the end of Club Kid. Tried to suck me out of my vehicle through my roll cage. Glad to be rid of that guy. And I forgot what I was saying. This Club Kid died and I had to celebrate. If it was worth saying, it'll come back to me. But it probably wasn't. Oh, right, yeah. The sound of the special. We can barely hear it because of the music, but it's like a little squeak. It could be like a witch cackle or something. It doesn't really sound like a laugh to me. The sound effect is only like half a second long to my ear. It sounds like the tiniest little scream, but not of like Granny Dread herself. Can't tell if it's supposed to be like spitting tires or what the hell it's supposed to be. And it doesn't seem to be glitched the way a lot of sound effects are in Twisted Metal 3. Just seems like a poorly designed sound effect. I think Firestarter went and got the full health refill. Pretty sure I intentionally did not open up the present that has the full health refill inside. So he went and grabbed it himself. Where is the lightning? Uh-oh. Of course. Of course. Anyway. There. What? Homing missiles, you have betrayed me once again. Finally. Yeah, Hammerhead could use more flavor, I think. Granny Dread really just doesn't have much of a character to her. She could. It's not uninteresting to have a bloodthirsty old lady behind the wheel. If Axel turns 2 degrees in either direction, he cannot be hit by a free shot. That's how bad the homing is in this game. And they had the chance to fix it in Twisted Metal 4, and they intentionally did not. Ah, well. London is the hardest level in the game for most vehicles. So going in with 1 life short could be a little rough. I should probably just reset it right now. I'm gonna take an actual legit shot playing through this. But I've already lost control of everything, including my own vehicle. Fishtailed out. Health refill got yoinked by somebody. Didn't look like it was Club Kid because Club Kid was still missing a lot of HP. These towers have way too much HP. They go through 3 phases of being broken before they actually collapse. And there goes all the health refills, so we can actually do some combat for a couple of seconds. Spectre's design is cool, but it's so dark that it blends into almost every environment in the game. So Spectre is halfway invisible most of the time. Speaking of which, though, had to be a perfectly timed freeze shot, of course. There, invisibility. I wondered in previous streams whether or not invisibility was like an intentional feature or a bug that keeps happening to the AI. And you can intentionally go invisible whenever you feel like it. It's the one energy move that the manual does not tell you about. So, there's no way to know about it. The only way to know about it is if you're familiar with cheat codes in the preceding games of the series. There's like a Twisted Metal equivalent of the Konami code, which is up, down, left, right, right, left, down, up. If you hold all 4 triggers, all 4 shoulder buttons, and press that exact sequence of inputs, in almost any Twisted Metal game, something will happen. Usually it's God mode. So, if you press up, down, left, right in this game, you go invisible. And the AI will, like, pretend not to see you. You're basically playing peekaboo with the AI. See, look at him. He forgot about me. It's almost like having a shield. Sort of. Not really. Especially because you would want a shield to do things like drop a remote bomb on somebody, and then shield and detonate it immediately. But you can't do that. You just blow yourself up. But yeah, as for Spectre being basically invisible, I guess that sort of makes sense, because he's a ghost. But the color scheme is blue car with white stripes, and Twisted Metal Head On, which is like a remake of Twisted Metal 3. Spectre's color scheme is the exact opposite. It's a white car with a blue stripe down the center. And I never noticed that it is basically like the exact same texture, just inverted colors. Possibly another dig from the Head On developers against Twisted Metal 3, the game they contempt so thoroughly. Four enemies left, and there's going to be a regeneration and a boss fight. I cannot win this. So, down triangle L2 R2 1. Yeah, R2 R1. Very good. Get to keep our music through loading screens. Lucky us. And we're back into it. Should have just gone with a reset right off the bat. I did not have the resources to reliably get through that level. The health resources. This is not a game I can control very well. The whole game seems to be abnormally random in a series where every game is extremely, extremely random. Someone grab the health refill. Good riddance to that thing. Love being able to get frozen in this game. There. Leave me alone. Let's see. Can't do very much. But that's always the case in Twisted Metal 3. Every attack feels completely useless. Except for one or two that actually, like, blow people's health bars in half. You do not really have access to any of those. For some reason, Auger's attacking Thumper. Maybe they'll leave me alone if I'm invisible. Great, flower power. Went right for the health refill. Wonderful. I hadn't even been fighting flower power. I don't know why she was so beat up. Thumper got one as well. And I got nothing. I actually had a pretty easy time with this level in practice compared to some other vehicles that I played through this game with. Hello. Meeting the top of the skybox. Excuse me. While I kiss that thing. And, yeah, as vehicles that handle the London level, Hammerhead has an easier time than most. Which is still a very, very hard time. The explosion radius, when an enemy dies, is an actual explosion that will damage you and any other nearby vehicles. Rear attacks stop you dead in your tracks, so you can't really escape while rear firing the way the AI can. And you probably won't hit with your rear attacks either, because the homing is atrocious. But you gotta try. Flower power, still near max health. Getting one health refill. Axel appears to have recovered a lot of HP, perhaps? Seems maybe like that. Maybe I just lost track of him. Death blows become, like, the most important thing. Because that's the only thing that stops the AI from voraciously consuming all health refills. But the AI goes completely berserk when they're at low HP. It's super hard to get a beat on him at that point. There. Finally a homing shot. Gotcha. There must have been a health refill there. I don't know. That was weird. There's still a regeneration, there's still a boss. And all the health refills have been claimed. Yep, Axel just got one for certain. You know what I want to do here? Was that, but my freeze went off slightly too late. Axel still got a special in. Just gotta take this so that Axel doesn't get it, because Axel is definitely gonna try and grab it. Hey, everyone's backing up Axel. He's made a lot of friends in the 10 minutes we spent here in London. Flower Power is certainly going for a health refill. Yep, about to get it too, there it is. Read this game like a book. A shitty Harry Potter book that I detest. Okay, it's not that bad. Don't want to say things we can't take back. I do probably want to reset this level again. Because not enough death blows. Enemies have survived too long. The longer a level goes on, the worse it is for you. This level has gone on way too damn long. There's a regen. Something. Yeah. I mean, Twisted Metal 3 is... It's, like, objectively a bad game. But, like, if you play it a lot, you get really, really good at it, then it becomes a good game. It's weird. It is balanced against itself much better than you would think. Against the overall Twisted Metal series, this is total garbage. But by its own standards, like, I don't know, the vehicles are pretty comparable to one another, like, balance is decent. The challenge level, like, works consistently. There are positive things I can say about this game. Just trying to guess the password, that's probably not the best plan. Something about Twisted Metal 3 kind of clicked with me after playing it for so many hours. I'm still not good enough to actually enjoy it the way I'm describing, but I can see why some people do. Yeah, if you like the Twisted Metal 2 sort of gameplay, there are good things to be said about Twisted Metal 3. I feel like this is, like, in the same vein as Twisted Metal 2. Worse in every way, but a similar follow-up. They sort of did justice to the source material. And then Head On came along and erased this game from history. And history was better for it. I like Head On a lot. It is on the easier side of Twisted Metal games, though. Not that that's a negative, but it is a fact.
You can't
Spectre's back. And that's a thing that would never happen in Head-On. Let's see if this health refill is still here. It is. That's something, I guess. Oh, Spectre's almost dead. Which means, yeah, it's gonna go and try and get health refills, but too late. Spectre's the one you wanna single out. It seems to have abnormally low HP compared to basically every enemy in this game. The directional controls especially are very, very twitchy in this game. There we go. Finally fell over. But like, if you watch me rear fire, I swerve in each direction. You can like read the inputs that I'm pressing when I do a rear fire. It's clearly left, right, down. Now, I was doing pretty well. Truly, you're never doing well. Don't think there's any way to recover our HP. There is, actually. What do you know? Couldn't be so pessimistic, I guess. Technically, the pessimism is there's a health refill somewhere in the level. Because the AI just goes out of their minds as soon as one of those blue boxes spawns in. Okay. No, you don't. Got it. Barely. Everyone was trying to stop me from getting that health refill.
Do you want me to break your face? You better get off my trail.
There. All the health refills respawn at the same time. One more died, basically off screen. There we go. Perfectly timed detonation of our remote bomb. You don't have to rear fire our ricochet bombs, but it does help. Our special is super hard to use because, as noted, controls are very twitchy. Actually able to use our special without flipping over every time. Still sometimes. When I first started playing as Hammerhead, I was incredibly irritated that every time I used my special I would roll over. And then after a while, it started to be so funny that it was worth it. And since then it has repeatedly gone from like too irritating to bear, to being like really funny again, over and over and over again in that cycle. Right now I'm on the side of it being pretty funny. Soon enough, it's gonna get under my skin. And I'm never gonna use the special again. The AI goes for health refills in every Twisted Metal game besides like one. That is to say, Twisted Metal 1, which doesn't have health refills. Thus, they cannot go for them. So, like, the other games simply balance it better. Bosses are going to be a big problem throughout this entire run for Hammerhead. Hammerhead is atrocious at dealing with bosses. Partially because the special is useless. Heavily because, like, when we get hit with the boss specials, they always deal significantly increased knockback over any of the normal weapons. Hammerhead does not deal well with knockback. This thing rolls if you so much as breathe on it. They are gonna breathe on it, that's for sure. Get this. Just get it out of the playing field. Okay, some of my fire missiles landed. One free shot missed, but of course, minion fired like 3. What? Is he going for the health? There can't be the health refill. I just grabbed it. And we awkwardly slide into one another. Yeah, like, no vehicle in the base game has enough armor to withstand any of the boss's attacks. Hammerhead's armor isn't even that particularly strong. So, there's like no advantage to being a vehicle this big against the boss. But we can ram him pretty easily, and then flip over. Where you going? I don't trust you. Hey, I ran him to death. Super awkward, but it works. That's what I was talking about it being, like, really funny when you use your special.
Oh, how I
So silly.
rooftops of Tokyo. Such a high
If we get lucky here, we won't need
volcano
to reset the level to get our lives back.
time. And be sure to check out what's
But like I said, the level has the resources in it for you to complete it, no matter what vehicle you're playing as. It is equally difficult because you don't carry your inventory over between levels. They are clustered up pretty nicely with a radar. Probably about the best use of the radar we could have gotten there. No one died, but everyone's close. I like to try using the fan to kill people, but it always, always, always gets me killed. And I have no lives that I can afford to waste here. Sweet Tooth, get away from me. Okay, I can't make this jump as Hammerhead. Good to know. Absolutely need turbo to get through there. Spawn me a trillion miles away from everybody. We're getting the full health refills and just having a grand old time. Free shot, utterly useless. I hate it so much. Why would you program the free shot to not work? Absolutely appalling. It works for the AI, because they have unlimited uses. Yeah, this is a super, like, wacky game. In terms of, like, controlling it and just the awkwardness. It's always so awkward. Probably the most awkward game in the whole series. Outlaw got one of the health refills. I'm sure Flower Power did not get the other one. That's actually a pleasant surprise. We got enemies at critical health, but as usual, getting that death blow is the hardest part. Okay, Flower Power got a health refill. What was I even talking about? Did not attempted fate by saying Flower Power was so close to death. Because it wasn't gonna last. No one is close to death until they're dead. Someday I'll learn. I don't think I've ever looked at the backside of that billboard up there. It's like a sumo guy. There he is. Doing sumo stuff. Yep, this is really a drunk driving simulator. As though Twisted Metal weren't a bad enough influence as it is. All of our favorite characters are visibly wasted based on how they're driving. Another one down. Outlaw's got not much left. This level is, like, really bad for the platforming. Platforming in any Twisted Metal game is rough. And in this Twisted Metal game, it controls so bad. It's a mistake. Club Kid showed up, of course. Last time I played Twisted Metal 3, it was as Mr. Grimm, who just obliterated me in an instant. You'll note. And, Mr. Grimm is kind of useless. He's one of the worst vehicles in the entire game. Because he also is awkwardly shaped. He actually has probably the most awkward shape of any vehicle in the game. He also rolls constantly. So, like, vehicle shape ends up being your main advantage or disadvantage. Ignore the stats, just look at the shape of your car when selecting it. I thought for sure Mr. Grimm was going for the full health, but it's not here. Doesn't rule out that that's what he was doing. I think the AI is busted in such a way that they will go to health refill locations in hopes of the refill spawning. Yeah, I got it. Barely. I had to do a, what, 1,000 point spin. But it got me there. Very dangerous to use our special here, but at least it's not an instant kill to fall off the building. For some reason, Club Kid has become the people's hero. The ultimate villain. God damn it, Mr. Grimm. That happens so often that you are a millimeter away from a health refill when the enemy grabs it. Constantly happening. I guess because the AI goes for the health refill so quickly, and they're the only thing that can control themselves in this game. So, like, if you go for it as soon as you are humanly able, the AI will be there 1 second before you. So they have AI powers. Where are we at? Tokyo. R2 up triangle, X square. Why are the passwords so complicated in this game? Why isn't this one working? That's a problem. Okay. The passwords don't work. Wonderful. I think we beat Tokyo. Everyone's in agreement, right? Mr. Grimm should not have been able to get us there, so we beat Tokyo. Tokyo's gone. There we go. We did it, folks. Wasn't that impressive? Don't we feel accomplished? Getting past Tokyo like that. Canonically, Granny Dread got chopped up in a fan. And that's how this tournament ends. I would go back and complete it properly, but there's no password. I mean, the password does exist. Just Game FAQs has listed it incorrectly. So, oh well. This is what I'm not going to go and make good on. I do not need to prove that I can beat Tokyo as Hammerhead. Also, I went into that with less than my full life count. So, like, if I had reset, definitely would have got through that. How did no one die in those two lightnings? Lightning does more than half a health bar on most enemies. Bit unlucky. Let's clean up these dregs. Roadkill's gotta go, because it's gonna be just an intolerable AI pattern. Until it is destroyed. For some reason, Roadkill's like dot on the radar is pink. Not sure why. It's almost an enviable color to have. It's too good for Roadkill. There. Get rid of that thing. I think Outlaw survived that collision? Nope, it did not. So that was worth it. Yeah, if Tokyo had been the second to last level, and we just skipped to the final level from it being uncompletable, that would have been a bit more disappointing. But as it stands, Tokyo's just sort of one of the mid-levels. Nothing special. And I know the password for the blimp is correct. Trust me, I had to use it several times because boss fights are abnormally difficult for Hammerhead. We need to go get the Illuminati Eye. That should wipe out Axel very, very easily. There it is. Right about there. We do need to account for travel time. Okay, Axel was one step ahead, of course. The AI in this game. So annoying. Now there's just nothing I can do against Axel. As he dodged my Illuminati Eye. Will presumably continue to do so forever. There's the full health I expected to respawn at any second. Naturally. You could tell Axel was gravitating towards that area, so it must have been about time. I could kill him with the lightning, but I'm not going to. I'm going to save that for the next phase, because we're about to face 3 more enemies. And I see a health refill way off in the distance. The blue stands out very, very clearly against sand. And yet, I can't find it. Huh. Well, good riddance. I know Axel didn't get it. There he is. There. Now we just lure everybody to the very back of the sarcophagus. Nuke them all with lightning. In a level that has 2 environmental attacks. We do want them to be right on my tail here. So it's kind of good that they're this aggressive. But it won't be if they just kill me. Instantly make them forget why they came with our invisibility. Okay, we got 2 of them. It's probably enough. Vector's there too. Somehow Club Kid got through that uninjured. It should be dead. But it's Club Kid. The people's hero. Nothing kills Club Kid. Use my last Illuminati eye. Completely whiff it, of course. That's fine. Where's Warthog? If I'm ever on my wheels, Warthog is good and dead. Told ya. Yeah, like, collisions are super weird. I don't know how they were programmed, but, like, vehicles have no gravity, so everything feels super bouncy. And then your impacts, like, it feels like 2 balloons bumping against each other, but the health bar says you just murdered them. It's very strange. It feels wrong, because it is wrong. Haha! Took the bait, sucker. See you in hell, Club Kid. Or more likely in the blimp. Yep, there he is. I see your dot. That yellow nightmare dot haunts my nightmares, because it's a nightmare. Nightmarish nightmare, I say. Anyway. Square up, up. Start left. I need my lives back. This is a ridiculously hard level. By far the hardest in the game when you're Hammerhead. Other vehicles have an easier time. Much easier, in fact. Hammerhead has the hardest time with the blimp of any vehicle I played so far. We can't afford Meet the Creeper, unfortunately. Get this stream shut right the hell down. So just, imagine it. While we enjoy generic Twisted Metal music from a game haven't Let's Played yet. Just do the gimmick. Hitting all these switches first. Get the health refill out of here just to be safe. There's a box with the health refill over on that other side of the level. And I am gonna not open that box until all of the enemies are dead. Should prevent anybody from stealing that health refill. I sincerely hope that is the case. It is quite possible that the box will be destroyed by the AI. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this is Small Brawl music. Which, I have almost the entire Small Brawl soundtrack. on this playlist that we're listening to right now. Boilers. It's very, 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 very good. I love the Small Brawl soundtrack. Sweet 2, stay on your head. Keep doing headstands. Or just die. It'd be nice if I weren't frozen. I say that a lot, because I'm often frozen. Sweet 2 probably going for the full health refill. I think I'm going to beat him to it. I hope so. Oh, someone else got it. So he might have been going for it, but it was already gone. Then he died off screen of a broken heart. Poor guy. Yep. So this is almost impossible to complete at this point. Beating the final boss when you're short on one life is a tall order. But we'll go for it. Use our absolutely useless napalm. It's bad in Twisted Metal 2. It is nothing in this game. It doesn't even deal respectable damage if you, by some miracle, actually do land it. Not that you're ever going to know that. It simply doesn't happen. There's my health refill that I've been saving this whole level. Way too many enemies are still alive. This is like the easy part. Killing the enemies is normally something I do quite effortlessly. Because this is kind of a gimmick level. That it is entirely a gimmick level. I believe this is the only turbo refill in the entire level, which is very irritating. I constantly head over to that one obscure corner just to use turbo throughout this level. As Hammerhead, you need quite a few turbo refills, because it's a slow car. Ugh. This game. They programmed the AI to go for full health refills. So, yeah, there's no shield, of course. There's Club Kid Special, making it so I can't move. And napalms fired from point blank. They fire from the top of your vehicle directly up. So it is impossible to hit any vehicle from point blank, unless you are like rolling on your side at the time. Which can happen. But the timing on that is not a thing I would want to try and master. Club Kid got a health refill. So I give up. I give up. We were already pretty close to unwinnable. That just clinched it. What did I do wrong this time? Square up? Start, there we go. Why not just use face buttons? It was hard enough to remember the passwords in Twisted Metal 2. It's close to impossible in this game. Why am I fighting people? They can't be killed. Did manage to land on my wheels. Did I just give that one a 10? Twisted Metal, bring back the refs. How do we know if anyone's cheating if there aren't any refs? Oh, someone died. What a dick. I need them not to die, because then they just respawn with full health. It's probably the enemy that I hit with my special. 2 injured. There are 3 Castlevania songs in this entire playlist. We just got 2 of them in a row. Can we go 3 for 3? Bad RNG in the game and in the music. I could just, like, change it. But that's cheating. Also, calling this bad RNG is just plain incorrect. Song rules. Alright. There we go. Dolphin tailing. Hammerhead is the only vehicle in Twisted Metal 3 that I consistently see dolphin tailing. Which is, it rolls up on its back bumper. And if you hold the accelerator, you will stay on your back bumper forever. You will be perfectly balanced, such that you stay pointing directly upwards the remainder of your life. But, even though you're not moving, you will maintain your momentum as if you were moving. So you have to slam on the reverse and hold it for a really long time so as to reverse your momentum. Then, finally, you will stop dolphin tailing after like 3 or 4 seconds. It's worse than rolling over. And Hammerhead does it all the time. Only enemies don't go down these pathways unless they are going for the full health refill. Which I know is gone. But Outlaw wanted it anyway. There. Had to take some damage, but I got rid of the last enemy. Time for Primeval! Everyone's most beloved boss in Twisted Metal history. So glad it got to be the finale. Okay, save my lightnings. I should do that more often, but also it would have been kind of neat to use it to soften up the other enemies. Surprisingly, I did not need to do that. So now, I have a lot of lightning. Primeval is directly below me, which means he is within range of lightning. I am gonna zap the hell out of him for a while. Sorry about the flashing screen, but... Oh. Wasted the last little bit somehow. And he's teleported up to me, which means I will be frozen and exploded any second now. Not before I freeze him. Now it's suddenly extremely appropriate that we have the boss music from Castlevania. Hadn't anticipated that, but there we go. Very, very fitting. Primeval is very comparable to Crusher, a vehicle that just is both Auger and Mr. Slam. 2 better vehicles that already exist. And are also in Twisted Metal 4. Gotta get this health refill out of here. So Primeval will go for it. Why wouldn't he? Got him in a good cycle. Taking a lot of damage. I have the lives to spare. Get him with my special, because why not? There we go. Accept the inevitable. Just pray that he doesn't get a health refill while I'm respawning. I can't stop him. There don't appear to be any available, though. Not that it matters. This is what happens when a boss is around. They do your entire health bar in a matter of seconds. And he's right on my case again. There we go. We should be separated from him at least. If I'm super lucky, lightning will have respawned. And we'll just zap his ass. Like I did in the Let's Play. There it is. Get out of here, you bastard. Let's enjoy Hammerhead's ending.
Granny Dread. Your wish is to stay home and watch your daytime TV. Your wish is granted. Too bad you can't change the channel.
Enough! Calypso, let me up! I can't take it anymore!
I am Calypso, and I thank you for playing Twisted Metal.
We did it. We watched TV. We knew going in that was our goal, and we succeeded. So worth all that effort. At least we did it in a reasonable amount of time. Hammerhead, honestly kind of fun, very silly. Rolls over way too often. Makes it way too frustrating. You're just off your feet way too frequently. Also, Primeval could have behaved much, much worse than he did. So there were a lot of ways we got lucky there. But, you know, could have gone so much worse. I'm happy with that playthrough. Glad I showed off some more Twisted Metal 3 without it being absolutely nightmarish. The characters I have remaining are mostly pretty fun to play. Axel's fairly fun. Auger, I'm looking forward to. Auger is actually going to be a blast to play through the entire game with. Someday. I'm in no rush to do it. But most of the remaining characters we're going to have a good time with. There will be some bonus content, because I never completed Holland as Mr. Graham. I would like to attempt to correct that. Now, I might not be able to. I'm gonna go back to Twisted Metal 2, because I guess we're done with Twisted Metal 3. An hour and a half is more than enough of this particular game. We will make some attempts at beating Holland as Mr. Graham. Show what I've learned over the past week. So tune in for that if you want to have a bad time. Or maybe it'll be fun. We'll see. It's also very RNG dependent. Stick around for that. And, that's it for Twisted Metal 3 for the moment. See you soon. But for now, I am Fiendly, and I thank you for watching Twisted Monday.